Hey, third grade. Last time we were in art, we talked about effigy pots, and we also discussed what kind of animal you wanted to design your pot to be. It is an animal personality that is in some way close to yours. So last time you saw me make an elephant, and I know that many of you are going to choose different animals. So today I'm going to show you how to form different parts of animals. I'm not going to form the entire pinch pot animal, but I'm going to show you how to do some basic things: ears, legs, tails, arms. So remember, you all have to have a base of a pot, and you roll it into a sphere, and keep that in mind that you can make it smaller or bigger. If you make it smaller, your animal will be smaller, and if you make it larger and wider, it will have a different look as well. So this is my little pinch pot. I made it that fast. Make sure that you smooth out cracks. Okay, so say you're forming an animal head. You want a sphere. Depends on if you're using a dog, making a dog, or an animal that has a snout that points out. I would roll it into a sphere. And if it were a duck, I would pinch, or if it's a fox, usually foxes have more of a point like this. They don't have a round face, they have more of a point. So how to make a point is just squeezing the sides. This is when a head, this would also work well for a horse, a dog, a certain kind of dog, a unicorn. If you think of an animal that has this kind of a nose, maybe even a lion, a lion's would be pushed in a little bit more, but a horse is definitely more pointing out like this. So you take that sphere and you just mold the sides, point the nose. So then you think about attachments. If your animal sort of has a flat nose, you would roll a small sphere like this. And when you attach it, you can't just put it on, you always have to scratch to attach. So you have to scratch this, and you have to scratch the sphere. Also apply a little water when you attach, and you can push down. Once it's pushed down, that's when you can form the nose to look like what you want it to be. This is a good lion nose, so I form it into a bit of a triangle. I pinch the sides down, push the sides in. That kind of gives his nose. Small details do fall off easily, so be very careful when applying the small, simple details. Now, ears. I'm going to show you two types of ears. One is a cat ear. So when you're making a cat ear or an ear that is in the cat family, make a sphere. Okay, once you have that sphere, pinch the side like this. You want it to look like a point, and then push this part down and then flatten it a little bit. So you're forming a triangle for an ear. So that's ear number one. And then I'm taking the other ear. Again, pinch the top, flatten it, push the bottom down. Those are two triangles. Now, if your triangles don't look the same, that's okay. Try to put them side by side to see, okay, what do I need to fix? This one needs to be bigger, so you push it down. These are my true triangles. You can take some clay off of it if it's too large or big. And then the attachment comes in on the head. So you attach to the side, and don't forget to attach the ears down here. Always add a little water. These could be ears for a dog. These could be ears for a fox. You can also bend the ears and mold the ears on your animal. If you don't like it, you can always pull them off and start over. So those are triangle-shaped ears. If you're making a floppy ear, or an ear that's like a rabbit, or perhaps a bigger ear, you would still form a sphere. Most ears begin with a sphere. Kind of get an idea how big you want the ears to be. You push like this, flatten it, and then pinch at the bottom. That's a mouse ear. This could be a bunny ear. If you push it up a little bit more, that could be a bunny ear. If you need it smaller, make a smaller sphere. Same thing, push it in and pinch the edge like that. And those are a rounded ear. And then you attach it in the same way. You slip and you score right down here. and you add a little water and you push it in and flatten it to the head, and then you mold it. So this would be good for a mouse, that rounded edge. Another thing you'll need to know is legs and arms are always a coil. A coil is rolled into a sphere. Once you have it into a sphere, you roll it back and forth. You can also use the table. These are basic shapes for arms or tails. So if you want a tail, roll it thinner. This could be a good horse tail. And at the end of a horse tail, they usually have a little hair, which was that sphere just flattened, and attach it to the end. These can be arms. Sometimes I just roll out the entire coil. Sometimes it's easier to do that on a table, and then you can fold it in half. This is too thin, so I need to add clay. I'm going to roll that into a coil, and this is how you'll make arms and legs, tails, spirals. So this is part still too thin, so I might roll that thinner, and then fold it in half if you want it to be equal. And I have 2 equal parts for arms. Maybe the animal has arms. You can always measure it again if you need smaller arms, and cut them here and then attach. So maybe you have an animal that has arms like a monkey. You can always have your animal holding a banana, just like, that's how I attached my arms. Now I didn't slip and score this, but I would have to go back and do that, or else these arms will fall off. So I have to scratch to attach. And adding water helps, but it acts like a lock for the clay. And that'll help it stick so it won't fall off. So that's one way you could do monkey arms or arms of an animal. In the elephant video, you saw how I did coils to make legs. So the basic shapes you need to know for your animal constructing is a sphere. Spheres are used for heads, and small spheres are how you begin ears and details on the face. So spheres are for the head. You can always mold the sphere and reshape the sphere, but that's the head shape is a sphere. The ears are a sphere, and the eyes can also be a sphere. I'll show you one way to add eyes. So let's say this is my head. I'm making a panda. So, and I want the panda's eyes to be here. I have a small sphere. These are a little big, so I have a little panda nose and eyes. So I haven't constructed my nose yet, but I'll put that there. One thing you always have to remember is scratch to attach. And one thing you can do to make sure it sticks in, is to poke a hole through. And if you want it to be kind of crazy or cartoon-like, you can always poke holes in it. You can add details with the stick, like eyebrows, eyelashes. You can even draw on your nose if you would prefer. A panda's that kind of looks more like a puppy, but you can draw on the face if you'd prefer. And I'll finish this off with ears. This looks like a puppy to me, so I'm going to show you 2 puppy floppy ears. I sphere, pinch the edges, pinch that top part, or it could be a bunny because of that's one way you can attach an ear like that. And if you don't like it, you can always pull it off and try again. This could be a Chihuahua ear, a little Chihuahua dog, or you could take the ear off completely and make it floppy like that. You can start all over again from scratch and change it if you mess up. So remember basic shapes: coils for legs and arms. This is a coil. This works for legs and arms. Spheres for small parts. Sphere for bigger parts. And then you've got your pinch pot base right here. which I've already attached arms to. Remember, you can always make your animal standing on 2 legs, like this. But always test it out and see if it can hold the weight of your pot. And if you test that out and see it's tipping, so you might want to press it down so it can make sure that it can stand on its own. And that seems a little too heavy. Oh, there we go. So if it tips like this, you need to add reinforcements or fix those legs. So there you go. Oh, press it down, try it out. All right, so we're going to practice with Play-Doh today, making all these shapes, coils, spheres. If you have questions, come and ask me. This is the time for me to help you. And then after we practice with Play-Doh, we'll begin clay the next time you're here. Enjoy.